Are you tired of feeling drained and unappreciated, constantly helping others, but never receiving the same in return? Well, today we're diving into the ancient wisdom of legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi as he reveals the 7 types of people you should never help. Get ready to transform your relationships and protect your energy as we explore the timeless teachings of a true warrior. Lesson 1. Avoid people who don't feel sorry for their actions. One of Miyamoto Musashi's most important lessons is to be careful of people who don't feel bad about what they've done. Musashi talked a lot about how important honesty and self-awareness are. People who don't feel bad about their acts lack these traits. People like this often do the same bad things over and over, hurting themselves and others. This makes them unpredictable and maybe even dangerous because they don't have the moral sense that most people do. Musashi thought that a warrior's strength comes from being good in every way, not just being strong physically. Someone who can't feel regret is like a sword that doesn't have a blade. They're useless and could hurt others. If you help someone who doesn't feel bad about what they did, you are basically allowing them to keep doing bad things. These people will probably take advantage of your kindness and do bad things again because they think there are no consequences for their actions. Musashi's lessons tell us that our time and money are valuable and should not be wasted on people who don't understand or appreciate the value of real regret. Being around these kinds of people can hurt your image. Musashi thought that keeping a clean image was an important part of being a fighter. People might not trust your morals if they see you helping someone who keeps doing bad things without feeling bad about it. Other people might not respect or trust you as much after this, and it's hard to get them back. Because of this, it is very important to know what kind of person the people you choose to help are. One important way to tell if someone is honest is to see if they truly feel bad about what they did. People who truly feel bad about what they did often change how they act and make a genuine effort to make things right. You can be sure that the person is not worth your time and effort if they don't show these signs. Musashi's knowledge tells us to save our energy for people who deserve it, like those who can think about themselves and grow. You can avoid harm and make sure your efforts are directed toward people who really need and value your help by staying away from people who don't feel bad about what they did. Lesson 2. Be careful with indecisive people. Musashi Miyamoto warned people about the risks of not making up their minds. When you were a samurai, you had to make quick and strong choices. People who can't decide, on the other hand, don't have the focus and faith they need to make good choices. Feeling unable to make a choice can cause you to miss out on chances and create extra problems. Musashi thought that a fighter should always make a choice, even when they weren't sure what to do. You can use this idea in your everyday life too. It's easy to get caught up in someone else's ongoing state of doubt and hesitation when you try to help them make a decision. This can be tiring and useless. People who can't make up their minds often ask others to do it for them, which can put you in a tough spot. You could be asked to make decisions for them, and then be blamed if things don't go as planned. This can make people angry and cause relationships to get tense. Musashi's lessons tell us that true strength comes from being independent and making decisions, which are 2 traits that people who can't make up their minds really lack. Feelings of not being sure can spread. If you hang out with people who are always doubtful and hesitant, you might start to feel the same way. Musashi said it was important to keep your mind clear and focused, without question and confusion getting in the way. You could lose your own mental focus and drive if you help people who can't make up their minds. It's important to tell the difference between someone who really wants help and someone who can't make up their mind. The first one is willing to learn and grow, while the second one is stuck in a circle of doubt and hesitation. The wise words of Musashi tell us to spend our time and energy on people who can grow and make good decisions, not on people who are always stuck in a decision. It might seem nice to help someone who can't decide, but it usually ends up making them more frustrated and wasting your time. The lessons of Musashi tell us that our time and energy are important and should be given to people who show they can make decisions and grow. Being careful around people who can't make up their minds will protect your own mental clarity and help you focus on more useful and important tasks. Lesson 3. Don't help tricksters. Miyamoto Musashi knew how important it was to be honest and trustworthy with other people. He warned about the dangers of helping people who are tricksters or people who use lies and manipulation to get what they want. Tricksters are very good at lying, and they often act honest and trustworthy when they're not, only to betray people who trust them. If you help a trickster, bad things can happen. These people don't want to really help or help each other. Their main goal is to take advantage of others for their own gain. Musashi thought that a samurai's honor was very important, and that hanging out with dishonest people could hurt that honor. If you help a con artist, you join in with their plans and put your image and honor at risk. Tricksters often weave a web of lies and trickery that makes it hard to see what's real. They take advantage of situations and often leave a trail of doubt and confusion behind them. Musashi's lessons stress the importance of being clear and telling the truth, which are very different from how tricksters act. Being around these kinds of people can make it hard to make good decisions and keep you from following the road of ethics. Helping a fool can hurt other people in the area. When you help someone who is dishonest, you unintentionally back their bad behavior, which lets them keep taking advantage of and controlling other people. The wise teachings of Musashi teach us to be careful and wise, making sure that our actions don't make other people suffer. It is very important to know how to spot a con artist and stay away from their scams. People in this group often have a past of lying and taking advantage of others. Musashi thought it was important to learn about your opponents and how they deal with challenges. This is a useful tip for finding and avoiding con artists in everyday life. By not helping con artists, you protect your honor and make sure your efforts go to people who really need your help. The lessons of Musashi tell us that our honor and image are very important and that we should protect them by staying away from people who are out to trick and control us. In this way, we maintain the values of honesty and ethics, making sure that our actions make the world a better place for everyone. Lesson 4. Watch out for people who always need help. Musashi said not to help people who are always asking for help, because that can lead to a circle of dependence and stop people from growing as individuals. People who always need help don't usually have the drive and courage to solve their own problems. Instead, they depend on others to carry their loads. Helping these people all the time can use up all of your resources and energy, leaving you drained and unable to concentrate on your own goals. Musashi thought that a fighter should be strong and able to take care of themselves, which are important traits for success in any task. When you help people who always need it, you run the risk of getting caught up in their troubles and losing sight of your own path. Also, people who ask for help all the time don't always learn from their mistakes. They get used to depending on others, which stops them from growing as people and giving them the skills and confidence they need to deal with problems on their own. Musashi's lessons tell us that the only way to really grow is to face and get past problems on our own, without always needing help from other people. It's important to tell the difference between people who really need help and people who just don't want to work on getting better. The first group is willing to learn and grow, while the second group is happy to continue depending on others. The wise words of Musashi tell us to spend our time and energy on people who are ready to learn and grow, not on people who are always asking for help without trying to change. Giving people help when they always need it can also make your friendship with them unpleasant. They might use you as a crutch and expect you to solve their problems and decide what to do. This can make both sides angry and frustrated, and it can also make them not respect each other. Musashi thought that partnerships should be based on equal respect and balance. These values are lost when one person depends too much on the other. By being careful around people who always need help, you protect your own health and make sure that your efforts go to people who really need and value your help. The lessons of Musashi tell us that our time and energy are valuable, and we should wisely use them to help people grow and improve themselves. By doing this, we encourage a mindset of independence and toughness, which are important ideals for both individual and group success. Lesson 5. Don't trust fair weather friends. Don't trust friends who change their minds all the time. Musashi said, "These are people who are only around when things are going well and leave when things go wrong." People who are only friends sometimes don't have the trust and determination that are necessary for a real connection. Trusting these kinds of people can lead to failure and abuse. Musashi thought that real friendship is put to the test when things go wrong and people need help and support the most. Fair weather friends, on the other hand, leave you quickly when things get tough, which shows what kind of person they are. The moment you put your trust in them, you prepare to be hurt and let down. People who are fair weather friends usually only care about themselves. They look for ties that help them and end them when those perks are taken away. Musashi's lessons stress how important it is to be loyal and selfless, which are qualities that fair weather friends don't have. Being around these kinds of people can make you lose your sense of respect and honor, which will lead you away from the road of honor. It is important to know how to spot a friend who is only there when you need them and not to trust them. People like this often act in unpredictable ways, only showing up when it's convenient for them. Musashi thought it was important to know your enemies and your partners. This is a useful tip for finding and staying away from friends who are only there for you when you need them. It takes time and work to build strong, loyal relationships, and you should only invest in people who show real support and commitment. Musashi's wise words teach us to put more value on quality than number in relationships, so we can believe only those who deserve it. Stay away from friends who are only there for you when they want to be, and instead build relationships based on trust and loyalty. When we choose our friends carefully, we make sure that our relationships are based on trust and honesty, which are important values for living a full and worthwhile life. Lesson 6. Be cautious with overly proud people. Musashi told people not to hang out with people who are too proud of themselves. Being too proud can make you cocky and not think about yourself enough, which are both bad for personal growth and getting along with others. Musashi thought that a real fighter should always be humble and try to get better by watching others. People who are too proud often think they are more important than they really are, which can make them hard to deal with. Because they think they are always right, they might not want to accept when they are wrong or learn from other people's mistakes. Musashi's lessons tell us that being humble and ready to learn and grow are what make us strong. Being around people who are too proud can stop you from growing, because their pride can stop you from getting helpful comments and working together. Pride also often leads to disagreements and fights. People who are too proud are quick to get angry and unwilling to settle, which makes it hard to keep relationships peaceful. Musashi thought it was important to have balance and unity in your life and in your relationships. Being careful around people who are too proud will keep you from getting into pointless arguments and make sure that your interactions are based on equal respect and understanding. You should be able to spot the signs of too much pride and stay out of the trouble that usually comes with it, because their pride keeps them from making and keeping healthy bonds. These people often have a history of fights and tense relationships. Musashi's wise words tell us to look for people who are humble and eager to learn, which are important for our own and everyone else's growth. Helping people who are too proud can also be a thankless job, because they are so proud, they don't always appreciate the help they get, and they might even see it as an insult to their pride. Musashi thought that being thankful and respectful to others was important in all situations. People who are too proud lack these values. By being careful with them, you can be sure that your efforts will go to people who really need and value your help. Avoiding people who are too proud will keep you from getting into pointless arguments and help you build relationships based on shared respect and understanding. This not only makes you feel better, but it also encourages a culture of humility and constant improvement, which are important values for living a full and worthwhile life. Lesson 7. Avoid ungrateful people. Musashi said not to help people who aren't thankful. Being thankful is an important part of getting along with others and building strong relationships. Some people don't value the help they get, though. They often take it for granted and don't do anything in return. Helping people who aren't grateful can be discouraging and make you lose motivation. When people don't thank you for your hard work, it can make you feel ignored and undervalued. Musashi thought that a fighter should make an effort to help people who respect and value them. Helping people who aren't grateful wastes your time and energy on people who don't value your help. Lots of the time, people who aren't thankful feel like they deserve help and don't need to show gratitude in return. This can lead to a dangerous situation where you give all the time without getting anything in return. Musashi's lessons tell us that good relationships are built on shared respect and appreciation, which are missing when we're with people who aren't thankful. Also, not being thankful can make you dependent on others. People who aren't thankful often expect help all the time without doing anything to make their position better or show gratitude. This can use up all of your resources and make you angry and upset. Musashi thought it was important to be self-reliant and independent. Helping people who aren't grateful goes against these ideals. It's important to know the signs of someone not being grateful and stay away from interactions with them. People in this group often have a past of taking advantage of others without showing any gratitude. Musashi's wise words tell us to spend our time and energy on people who are grateful and ready to give back, which are traits that are necessary for relationships to be healthy and satisfying. By staying away from people who aren't grateful, you protect your own health and make sure your efforts go to people who really need and value your help. Musashi's lessons tell us that being thankful is an important part of having good relationships and respecting each other. Spreading a culture of thanks and recognition makes exchanges more cheerful and helpful, which is good for our own health and the health of those around us. In this way, Musashi's advice teaches us to be careful about who we help so that our efforts are recognized and respected. By staying away from disrespectful people, we avoid being let down and frustrated, and we build relationships based on mutual respect and appreciation. This not only makes us feel better, but it also encourages a culture of thanksgiving and helping each other, which are important values for a worthwhile life.